Hello and welcome to Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer, your host of the program. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. We've got 3 guests today, so we're going to give them each a little more time than we normally have on the show. Jeremy Theriault is here. Jeremy is Public Affairs Specialist for Cox Communications, and we have a program that Jeremy's responsible for. It's called Cox Conserves, and it's just a wonderful program, and he's going to be talking about how you can get involved in this program. Dale Cooney, we always love having Dale Cooney on the show. He is the co-founder, along with his wife, of an organization called Americans Heroes. They work with veterans who are in need of help, and they really reach out to those veterans who have suffered financially, and Dale's a great guy, great organization, and they do a great golf tournament, but he's on the show this time to talk about their upcoming dance contest that they're going to be having. It sounds like a lot of fun. And finally, our good friend Kevin Goddard is on the show. He is with Bridge House, and Kevin, just a wonderful human being, and Bridge House does so much great work for the city of New Orleans. They do a lot of fundraisers throughout the course of the year, but this is one of their craziest events that we're going to be talking about. It's called Mr. Legs. Again, a great show lined up for you. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. As always, we thank you for being a part of the show. It's always great to have Jeremy Theriault in the studio. Jeremy is with Cox Communications, and he's our public affairs specialist. And Jeremy, you have a program that, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. It's Cox Conserves. And help me let our viewers know that's a Cox Enterprises program, right?
Right. So Cox Conserves started out as an internal initiative amongst Cox to sort of reduce our carbon footprint and have our own take on sustainability efforts. You know, it started with small things like recycling within the buildings where we have Cox businesses, also minimal idle on our vehicles, things like that. And then it wound up becoming an external initiative, and that's what we have is Cox Conservation Heroes.
And this is your sixth year to do the show or the program?
Actually, this is our fourth
year
in a row where we've taken it statewide, but it's actually in 2008 was when it began. And the first winter was when we did it just in New Orleans back in 2008.
And I love the fact that we were talking about this earlier. I mean, you know, I was asking you who all can apply for this. And I mean, you were mentioning that this actually, if individuals who just volunteer to work in their community, and I'll let you talk more about that, but first place, if I'm not mistaken, first place gets $10,000 that you can donate to a charity of your choice, and there's 2 second place winners that get $5,000 each. So take us through the program, how I register and so forth, and then it ends up with a big ceremony that you do where you actually award I guess I'm going to say cash prize, but it's the volunteer prize that you get.
Or a grant or a donation.
Grant's a good way to put that.
So yeah, now through June 30th, we're taking nominations. Those nominations are specifically for environmental volunteers who are helping to maintain publicly accessible green spaces. And that can be anything from picking up litter in a neighborhood to maintaining a shoreline to revitalizing a park. And so now through June 30th, you can go to coxconservationsheroes.com.
And we'll put that on the screen.
Thank you. And then in the left-hand side, you select Louisiana from the drop-down, and right there it's about a 5-minute nomination process where you put that person's name in, their contact information, who's nominating them. And then after that, after June 30th, we shut down the nominations period. And then for about a 2-week period, we have all the nominees. We partner with the Trust for Public Land. Trust for Public Land helps us to sort of narrow down those nominees to 10 strong nominees. And then we have a panel of judges for people from Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and New Orleans, who come together and narrow down those nominees to top 3. And then those 3 individuals get a video made of each one, about a 2.5-minute video, which Cox 4 produces for us. And after that, we put those 3 videos online for about a 4-week period. Whoever gets the most votes, like you said, wins $10,000 to donate to a nonprofit.
Oh, so the actual public is voting on this. That's cool.
It's the public. And, you know, we see with volunteers in these grassroots organizations and grassroots initiatives, the volunteers are really pushing social media. They're on Twitter, they're on Facebook, now Instagram, everything else to get the word out about their project. And then after that, that 4-week period, like I said, whoever gets the most votes wins $10,000, and 2 runners-up each get $5,000. So everyone's a winner.
Is there a fee for entering?
No fee.
No fee? And you're really just entering online more than anything else.
Yeah, you're nominating. You can nominate yourself, or you can nominate.
That was my next question.
Yep. We have a lot of people who nominate themselves because they have that passion for the environmental nonprofit that they're really volunteering.
So give me an idea, if you can, was last year's winner was from New Orleans?
Last year's winner was from New Orleans.
And the winner was involved in?
So Patrick actually did the NOLA Trash Mob, which was a group of volunteers who met up, I believe, every weekend to clean up the Lafitte Greenway, where the Lafitte Greenway, the Friends of Lafitte corridor is. And in the year before that, Matt Thomas was our winner from Baton Rouge, and he actually cleans up the LSU lakes, and he would help to sort of mitigate this very invasive plant species called the water hyacinth that sits on top the water. I mean, you see them if you fish in Louisiana. You see these lily pads. They're kind of taken over, but it's from Asia specifically. But they would take over. Those types of plant species thrive here.
And again, I'm just going to mention the website is coxconservesheroes.com. Again, we'll put it on the screen. But no fee to enter. You can enter online, and I'm thinking that everything online talks about the program, the history of the program, what it's about, and everything. Now, from a Cox standpoint, is this done in every system, or is it just here in Louisiana?
It's done in every region, but this one is just done in Louisiana. Of course, we're looking at modeling the same thing and doing it in Florida and Georgia, but we really have been piloting it pretty strongly in Louisiana. But all of our Cox markets or regions, California, where Earthly originated, they're real big on that.
But you have to be, crazy question, but you have to be a Louisiana resident to be a part of this program,
correct.
Right?
Or the organization that you volunteer for has to be in
Louisiana. Now, does it have to be a nonprofit organization?
It does have to be a nonprofit.
Okay. But again, point out, it could be a neighborhood, it could be you in charge of a neighborhood group.
That's correct.
It could be you yourself doing whatever it is to help the conserving energy and so forth. So any number of categories you can enter, right?
As long as the volunteer is not receiving any kind of pay from the nonprofit who's going to be the recipient of the final donation, they're eligible for it.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Jeremy. I mean, it's an incredible program, and just from a New Orleans standpoint, I want to thank Ben Johnson, who's the president of the New Orleans Chamber, because I believe he's been involved with you every year. And I say that just because you really have some very strong community leaders who take a lot of pride. And it's not like they're just going to Baton Rouge and saying, "Oh, I picked this," and it's a very. I know you have a lot of entries, and they spend a lot of their time in doing that. So our thanks to all the community leaders who are involved in that from Cox, but a special thanks to you, Jeremy. You've headlined the program for 4 years now. You do a great job with it. There's nothing more important than conserving energy in our economy. So thank you for what you do. We've got a couple of more guests. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. It's always a pleasure to have Dale Cooney on the show. Dale is the president, founder, chief executive officer, president of America's Heroes. Dale, thank you so much for taking time to be here. Love having you on the show. Just love what you do with your organization and veterans. If you can, talk about the organization and your involvement with veterans and kind of what you're all about.
America's Heroes was founded 3 years ago.
By yourself?
And my wife.
And your wife.
We co-founded. And
God, she's going to kill me because she's in here today.
And what we do is we try to help veterans that have problems from when they come back from battle, whether it's physical or mental, and they're struggling trying to get back into the mainstream of work, and they can't because of whatever issue they have.
Right.
So, and their bills pile up. So what we would like to do is find that particular veteran who is very hard to find and help him or her with their bills. If we could pay them all off or pay a majority of them off.
And Dale, let me ask you a question. Do veterans, a lot of pride? I mean, when you said they're hard to find. So
absolutely. Yes.
From a veteran standpoint, I know there's a lot of pride there in serving and finding to help pay the bills. Are they reluctant to have you do that, or
they won't ask for help? We have a liaison, Larry Jones. He's 41 years retired from the military, and he's been helping veterans for the last 7 years on his own. And we met him by chance, and he helps us find veterans.
That's awesome.
In fact, he helped us this past year find one. He's a Vietnam veteran, and this guy had a stroke, and he couldn't work anymore, and he had a second stroke, which put him in a hospital bed. And their bills piled up, and he's helping them with the VA trying to get that straight.
Yeah.
So we went in, and he rents, and he lives in Harahan. He lives close by.
Oh, wow.
And America's Heroes paid his rent for the entire year, along with their lawn services.
That's awesome. It's just, the thing I want to point out is, and I asked the question because you need funds to help do what you do. It's required. So you're all about fundraisers. You have a great golf tournament. And you're not here to talk about that today. You're here to talk about Dancing for American Heroes, which takes place on July the 16th. So talk about that if
That's
you would.
correct, yes. We had our first one last year, and it was a big hit. We have Flipside as the band.
Good band.
It's $20 per person. And
That's all? That's not bad at all.
Well, you know, we have a 50-50 drawing,
Yeah.
and then we have door prizes, you know. And last year, the lady that won the 50-50, she donated it back to America's Heroes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes,
That's awesome.
yes. And it's things like that that enable us to help people like this Vietnam veteran.
Yeah, because again, I mean, you have to have money to do what you do. There's no getting around that, and you have to raise money.
Sure.
And this is another way to raise that. So, age limit or anything? Is there an age limit for the dancing? That I mean,
No, 18,
Okay.
21, no children.
no,
you know.
I mean, you don't have to be couples or anything.
No
like
couples.
that.
It's
All right.
$20 per person.
person.
You know, and
Food, drink.
it's BYOL.
Okay.
We'll furnish the setups, and you can bring your own food.
Yeah, and all proceeds benefit, of course,
All
American
proceeds
Heroes.
benefit the.
And it's going to be held where?
At the VFW on Hickory.
Okay, that's in Harahan.
That's in Harahan. That's the building with the big American flag painted on the side.
Okay.
And it should be a good time from 8 to 12.
Dale, your website is American. Boy, I remember when I said this once, you didn't even have a website. This is great. Your website is AmericanHeroesNOLA.com. We'll put that on the screen.
Yeah.
All information about the dance can be found on the website. Information about American Heroes. Can you donate to American Heroes on the website?
Yes, you can. It's a PayPal. It's set up with PayPal, so
Okay.
you can donate as much as you want, and all that money goes to the veterans. Once again, we are not, nobody financially benefits from this organization.
Yeah.
Nobody gets a salary. We don't have a credit card to where we can go to lunch or dinner and talk about it for 10
Wow.
minutes and then
Just straight up give the money back.
that's it.
Yeah,
All
that's-
volunteer.
That's the way it should be.
We have a lot of good people volunteering that are
Do
members.
you, to that point, do you need volunteers to help? I mean, through the
Sure.
website, can you volunteer
Yes.
for
Yes.
other community events you're involved in and things
Yes,
like that?
they can contact us through the website, or my phone number's on there. They can call me.
Okay. Dale, always a pleasure to have you on the show. God bless you for what you do. Love the fact that you support and help veterans that are out there. So again, it's July 26th, Dancing for American Heroes. Website is AmericasHeroesNOLA.com. We'll put that on the screen. Dale Cooney, God bless you, sir. And we've got one more guest, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Across Louisiana. Always a pleasure to have Kevin Gardere on the show. Kevin is the Executive Director of Development for Bridge House, Grace House. And Kevin, I say it every show, and I mean it every show, you guys are just absolutely phenomenal in what you do. There's organizations, and then there's organizations that people put their heart into, and Bridge House, Grace House is one of those that you definitely put your heart into. I love the fact that you always say it's the last house on
the block.
the block, last house on the block. Meaning after that,
There's
nowhere
yeah.
to go. So real quick, just tell us, and I ask you this all the time because I'm sincere when I say this, you do such a great job and your organization needs and gets support, and the fundraisers you do are just phenomenal. So talk about the mission of Bridge House, Grace House, and kind of what you're all about, just real quick.
Sure, yeah, thanks, Steve. We are a long-term substance abuse treatment facility for those who have lost everything due to their addiction, the homeless, indigent, unemployed, uninsured. It's a residential facility, meaning you live and stay there. Mm-hmm. And for those who are completing, we ask for a 6-month to a year commitment from the individuals that are coming to us. But they're completing in about 7, 8, 9 months. In that, it's all individualized, depends on how the person progresses. But we treat over 700 individuals a year, and these people come to us, hopeless, helpless, many of them wanting to die, wanting to go to sleep and not wake up again. And hopefully we can restore them and make them productive members of society again with our treatment approach.
And I'm not going to mention any names, but several organizations that we work with It's amazing that I run into individuals who are now working in these organizations that they credit Bridge House, Grace House with everything, and their way of giving back is working with these other organizations. And I run into a lot of those people, and it's again, it's a testament to you guys. You do a lot of work, but it does require money. So you do a lot of fundraisers.
We do.
And I got to admit, you have some of the best fundraisers that are out there. We were just talking to Dale Cooney about the golf tournament you guys do, and it's phenomenal.
It is.
And you have residents who are out there, and you can tell that they've just turned their lives around, and they love what you guys are all about. This is probably one of the craziest ones that you have.
This is no doubt the craziest one.
Mr. Legs contest.
Sweet 16.
And what kills me, there's no Mrs. Leg.
There's no Mrs. Leg. It's Mr. Leg. But although if you came to the show, you know, it's a parody of a beauty contest. It was started, this is our 16th year doing it. It's Sweet 16 for Mr. Legs, where the individual who is crowned Mr. Legs is the person who raises the most money for us. Last year, the winner raised over $13,000.
But now they actually are showing their legs.
They do have to show their legs.
Okay.
And we do have celebrity judges that grade them on best performance, best costume, sexiest legs.
I was looking
pigmentally challenged,
the hairiest legs.
Hairiest.
That's always fun to see.
Right.
Sexiest legs, best costume, and
the show itself, Steve, you've been. It's
crazy.
It's hysterical.
It's crazy. It's
funny. You know, these guys get up there and put some time into what character they're going to be that night, and they come out and dance to a certain song.
And they do it to support you guys.
All the money goes to support us.
Let's talk about entry fee. If you want to, if I wanted to participate in the contest, is it too late to do that, or
no? It's not.
So you can sign up.
Yeah, you can still sign up on our website or contact
bridgehouse.org.
Yes.
Okay, we'll put that on the screen.
And we ask that each person that does sign up as a contestant raise $1,000.
Okay.
Sometimes we have people who go way past that. Last year we had about 12 contestants, and the contestants alone raised $40,000.
God, that's incredible.
It is. We're trying to raise. Our goal this year is to raise $75,000 for this event. Mm-hmm. There are some expenses, but they're very minimal. And
ticket cost to get in.
Tickets $40 in advance.
Okay.
If you buy it at the door, it's $45.
Okay.
We do have VIP tickets still available. It's basically balcony seating at Generations Hall, which gives you a great view of the runway and the stage. And those are $75. We still have a few of those remaining. And we already have 14 restaurants, 15 contestants, and we're looking to get 30 restaurants.
Holy cow.
And then they have an open bar the first couple of hours of the show, which is 6 to 8. And it's
July the 9th. We got to throw the date out there.
That might help.
That might help.
July 9th, 6 to 10 p.m. This event was listed as one of the top parties in New Orleans by NOLA.com and the Times Picayune.
That's pretty heavy.
It was good. The article was the top 11 parties in New Orleans.
And Mr.
And
Legs.
we were in there. So we were
cow.
super excited.
Absolutely.
We usually have about 800 people that attend this event.
I mean, can you sell out? I mean,
you can. I really think that Generations capacity is probably 1,500, maybe 2,000 people, because with those 3 rooms they have, we use all 3 of the rooms. So we would have a ways to go to sell out, but I guess we could get to that
who knows?
point.
You might do. I mean, that's a great attribute for the Times Picayune to say that. It is crazy. I mean, there's no doubt about that. It should be called Crazy Legs.
Crazy Legs.
In my opinion, but it is Mr. Legs. You ever think one year you might have a Mrs. Legs?
I don't know. I don't know how that would go over.
I guess that's a little sexist.
You're right. But it's funny you said Crazy Legs. A lot of when we were first getting started, a lot of people, when's the Crazy Legs thing? When's the Crazy Legs things? And the characters that these individuals come out at, it's hysterical.
Can you say who the celebrity judges are yet, or?
I could.
Don't? Okay. You don't
Lauren, Flirty Girl, LeBlanc,
All right.
Tamika Lee, Sheba Turk.
Okay. Wow.
From Channel 4.
Yep.
And Jody Borello.
Okay.
Jody Borello is a local comedian. And we have one other spot. We're still waiting to see who it's going to be.
Okay.
And then Mike Hoss and Laura Buckteller, MCs.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
They love doing it.
Yeah.
They show.
It is crazy.
It is
Again, I just want to mention bridgehouse.org. is the website. We're going to have it on the screen, Kevin. Love the fact that you're here and what you guys do. You know, you're always welcome. I kid you about being on the show so
Right.
much, but that's all right because we love having you on the show. Bridge House, Grace House, just an incredible organization. If you really want to get out and support an organization that puts its money where its mouth is, I hate to say it that way, but they do. This is a wonderful event. It's a great time, good food, good drink. It is a New Orleans party, so there's no doubt about it. You've been watching Across Louisiana. My name is Steve Sawyer. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, and we'll see you next time.